ENG Spanish. Hey everyone, it's Eric from ENG Spanish Tutorials, and I'm here to explain to you all how to form the usted command or the ustedes command. It's pretty similar. Basically commanding someone above you to do something, or commanding a group of people, or demanding of them, hey, do this or something, to a group of people. So it's pretty easy. You do have to know pretty much all the conjugations. You should know by that whenever you learn these usted commands, because for my school they do it at the very end of Spanish 1. A lot of schools do it in Spanish 2, or they do it differently. So just hopefully by this point you know how to conjugate a lot of verbs. How to form a usted command are really simple. You just got to say them over and over again until it gets stuck inside your head. So rule number 1. If you follow these rules, you cannot be wrong. Rule number 1. Put the verb in the yo form. That's what I was talking about earlier about, at this point you should know a lot. You should know a lot about conjugating verbs. So all you have to do is put the verb in the yo form. Step 1. Step 2. Drop the O at the end. A lot of the verbs in the yo form end in O, so you just drop that O. And I'll go through examples with you. Rule number 3. Opposite ending. Now, what does that mean? Opposite ending basically means if your verb ends in AR, it will now end in your command form in either E or EN, depending on whether it's an usted command or an ustedes command. That's the opposite ending. So if the verb is ER or IR, then the endings will be in A or AN. Simple so far, nothing too confusing. Rule number 4. Check for verbs that end in car, gar, and zar. Z-A-R. I know that's kind of small, but okay. Check for verbs that end in car, gar, and zar for spelling changes, because when you do the opposite ending to a lot of those verbs, there's going to be a spelling change you have to be sure that a lot of students forget about. So I'll show you an example in a little bit. Okay, rule number 5. No goes before, yes goes after. And I'll explain all this as we go through some of our practice verbs here. So let's start. We're going to be focusing now on this whiteboard. Okay, so the first verb we have to look at is the verb hablar, to talk or to speak. Hablar. Rule number 1. Put the verb in the yo form. Hablo. Hopefully you know how to do that by this point. Rule number 2. Drop the O at the end. Okay, easy enough so far. Rule number 3. Opposite ending. So our verb hablar is an AR verb, which means that we need to do the opposite ending, which is an E. Hable. Rule number 4, does the verb end in car, gar, or zar? No, right? No, it doesn't. Okay, so we don't have to worry about rule number 4. Rule number 5, no goes before, yes goes after. Don't worry about that just yet. Okay, so there's your command. Easy as that. Here's your usted command. Hable. Now, how do you make it an ustedes command when you're talking to a bunch of different people and you're telling them all speak? All you do is add an N. E for usted command, EN for ustedes. Easy enough, right? All right, let's do another one. The next verb we're doing is the verb tocar, which means to play an instrument. So, tocar. First, rule number 1. Let's put this in the yo form. Toco. Rule number 2. Drop the O. Okay. Rule number 3. Opposite ending. Tocar, again, just like hablar, was an AR verb. So, tocar has to change to an E. Rule number 4. This is where rule number 4 is really important, because this is incorrect. And here's why. There's the verb tocar. Your command, if I were to say exactly what's written up here, that says tose. There's no hard k sound, just like in the verb tocar. So you have to do some kind of spelling change to make that s into a k sound. So it is a verb that ends in car, C-A-R. That's rule number 4. Here's the change that has to happen, and make the note adjustment on whatever you're writing. Hopefully you're writing notes. To keep that hard k sound, Q-U-E. C-A-R goes to Q-U-E. Okay, so we can add that up here. C-A-R, Q-U-E. That says toque. It's the opposite ending still with our E, because it's an A-R, it goes to E, right? It keeps the same k sound because now we have a U and we don't pronounce. It's not que, it's que. Toque. Okay, easy enough. Don't worry about rule 5 yet. We'll get to towards the end. Toque. And if you're talking to a bunch of people, toquen. That's it for that one. All right, let's do another one. Pagar, to pay. Pagar. Put it in the yo form, rule number 1. Pago. Drop the O, rule number 2. Rule number 3, opposite ending. It's an AR verb. Our rules tell us to just add an E. But notice that the verb is not only AR, but it's GAR, which is another one of our rule 4. So CAR went to QUE. GAR is going to go to GUE. So now instead of that, which says baje, not the same g sound, now we get a GUE. There's your usted command. Pague. To make an ustedes, paguen. So just like tocar, but now we have a GAR verb instead of a CAR verb. Alright, next verb. To go for a walk. Pasear. Okay, we know it's an AR verb. Put it in the yo form. Paseo. Okay, drop the O. Opposite ending, rule number 3. So verbs that are AR go to E. That's our rules, right? Pasee. Does the verb end in car, gar, or zar? G-A-R, C-A-R, Z-A-R? No? Okay. That's your finished product. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with the double E, but if you followed your rules, like I said, you can't be wrong. That just says pasee, pasee. So 2 E's can be together. Okay? Now let's do a different verb from the ones we were doing before. Tener, to have. Tengo, put it in the yo form. Drop the O. It's an ER verb now. So what's the opposite of ER verbs? A or AN. Does the verb end in car, gar, zar? Nope. Don't worry about rule 5 yet. You're good. That's your command. Tenga or tengan if it's ustedes. Okay? Next verb. Venir. To come. Venir. Put it in the yo form. Vengo. This is why it's really important to know your verb conjugations so you don't have to keep looking them back up. Vengo. Drop the O. Opposite ending. What's the opposite of IR verbs? The same as the opposite of ER. So just add an A. Venga. It's not car, gar, zar, so you don't have to worry about that. If you have an ustedes command, then it's vengan. Okay? Let's keep going. The verb to want. querer. Now, you should know that this is a stem changing verb, an E to IE. So let's put this in the yo form. Quiero. Okay, drop the O. It's an ER verb, so our opposite ending is A. Quiera. There's your command. It's not cargar zar either, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, next verb. Salir, to leave. Put it in the yo form. Salgo. Drop the O. It's an IR verb, so your opposite ending is A. Salga. It's not a cargar zar verb either, so you're done. And if you want to make it ustedes, you just put an N. Salgan. Alright, next one. Pedir. To ask for. So let's put this, let's remember that this is a stem changing verb, so it's E to I. So put it in the yo form. Pido. Drop your O. It's an IR verb, so your opposite ending again is A. The verb doesn't end in cargar or zar. You're done. Pida is your command. Okay. Dormir is your next one. To sleep. This is an O to UE verb. Put it in the yo form. Duermo. Drop your O. Opposite ending of IR verbs is A. It's not cargar or zar. You are done. So if you're telling a bunch of little kids to sleep, you would just say, duerman. Okay. Next one, sentarse. Not only is this verb stem changing, E to IE, but it's also reflexive. So first, let's put this in the yo form. Me siento. Okay, drop your O. It's an AR verb, so your opposite of AR is E. Okay, but something has to change since these are usted commands. This has to change because me refers to myself. I'm no longer telling myself to sit down, I'm telling you to sit down. So me needs to change to se. Because it's me siento, te sientas, se sienta, he, she, or you. Okay, but now here's where rule 5 comes in. Am I telling whoever I'm speaking to, am I telling them sit down, or am I telling them don't sit down? I'm telling them sit down. So this is what it means when I say yes, or your affirmative command. This se is attached to this. Okay? So your accent is usually third from the back. So 1, 2, 3. Siéntese. And you can hear it. Siéntese. The E is the stressed one. Okay? Siéntese. Alright, next one. Vestirse. To get dressed. So, me visto. In the yo form, drop your O. Opposite of IR verbs is A. Now we're doing usted command, right? This can't be here anymore. Instead, it should be se. And are we telling them get dressed, or are we saying don't get dressed? We'll do both. So if we're saying yes, get dressed, this se goes attached to this. And your accent is third from the back. 1, 2, 3. Vístase. If I'm saying don't get dressed, which I hope you're not ever saying to a professor, no se vista. Because now we're saying no, so your reflexive pronoun, this little se, goes before your command. Okay. Last one. Since I'm running out of time. Conocer. It means to know or to be familiar with, but in this sense we're using it to meet. Put it in the yo form. Conozco. Drop your O. Opposite of ER is A. Conozca is your command. We're going to have to stop there because YouTube only gives me 15 minutes, but I'll have another video about all the irregulars coming soon. Easy enough. You just learned this in 15 minutes. Good job.